Good evening, America. Welcome back to another episode of Break the Machine podcast. We have a full house tonight. We got one half of the Perez sisters hanging with us. We missed the other half. We'll have to have them both back at some point because we always enjoy talking with them. We got RosAngel. She's got a hit out that we're going to be playing tonight. We got Cozy Wellness. We're going to play some of his music too. Both of them are musicians. And they make their music through activism and whatnot, so it's really really good. Red Day Walker's running a little bit late. Omar Navarro's running a little bit late, so we're gonna start off tonight with just myself, Rosangel, and Cozy Wellness. When Omar comes in, we'll bring him and one and only Blondie, who was able to get him to come on the show through her efforts. So we want to make sure we bring her up so we can have a good discussion with him, so he can talk about his case and we can inform America what's going on because we haven't heard anything about him since he ran against Maxine Waters for like the fourth time. The what do you call it? The Hawthorne Crypt Keeper. She just keeps rolling. So we want to make sure that we what do you call it? Get his story out because it's just very very important. So don't forget, fam, to sign up for the discords when it's dropped in there. We got a movie night coming up. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, help the channel. Links at the top of the channel, top of the chat. And don't forget also to pick up some Scars and Stripes coffee. Great coffee. They roast their own beans and whatnot. They get them from all over the place. So what's up, Conserve Reality? What's going on? Without further ado, let's bring in Cozy and Rosangel. What's going on, fam?
What's
How
going
y'all
on,
doing? It's
everybody?
good. It is good to have you guys back. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while with Cozy was just like not so long ago, but Ross and Hell, we haven't seen you in a minute.
Hello, familia. It's good to be here with the Break the Machine Patriot family. Thank you so much for welcoming us back. My sister sends her regards, but I brought her via the cup. You know how everybody has little avatars?
Yeah.
So she's right there, including a little mystery drink. Salute to each and every one of you, and also just want to say congratulations to you, Eric and Scott, for the success of your show, the evolving, the expanding. I'm really proud of you guys. So and thank you so much for the ways that you support the Perez sisters.
Absolutely. We love you guys, and you guys put out some great content. Your activism is very, very important in a state that we'll talk about a little bit later that is just freaking gone bonkers and has not. I just don't see any light at the end of that tunnel with them yet. But maybe you guys can shed a little bit more light on that. Uh, so we appreciate your activism, and it's very, very important that people continue to fight, right? And even though I left the great state of New York because it is a beautiful state. It was just more to be around family and just New York and I just don't mesh anymore and we probably never will. So just had to make sure I got out and I got close to the family because it was just more important. But what you and Cozy and you and your sister do and all three of you has just been fantastic to watch. So you're part of this crew too, right? The demolition crew, right? Because that's what we're here to do, to break the machine, destroy the narrative that's out there. That's what everybody, in this community does, right? They're truth tellers and truth seekers. So you guys are a big part of that. So it's just good to have you back. Let me just say hello to a few people, and then we'll get into your music, both you and Cozy's. Conserve Reality, what's up? Thanks for coming and constantly repping and hang with us. General Mills is tuning in from Guatemala. Get that shit. We got some worldly view right now. Jonathan Stevie, my mod, is the best. Rogue Nina, it's good to see you, hun. I see that Rumble is just showing up again. Fam, say what's up to us. Say hello. Tell us where you're at. We all want to know. It's good to see that people are tuning in. But first, Cozy, what's going on with you, brother? Let's get a little bit from Cozy as well.
Good, good. Just been super busy. Just trying to do my part and spreading the word, warning people about the different forms of communism that are trying to take hold of New York. I mean, it's already taken hold, but we're just trying to warn. The Democrat Party is terrible, and it seems like they're going to win. But there is some hope here, and I
Right.
just want to kind of say that out there right now, so before I forget. Most of the last two elections, mayoral elections, only 23% of the public voted. Okay, either
Wow.
23 or 26. I think it's either one or the other, 23 or 26. Very short, right? Very, very small population's voting. So that's a good sign, because if we have those numbers and everybody comes out and votes, we can have somebody like Curtis Lewa, I guess, come in. I mean, he's not perfect, but he's a better option than what the Democrat Party is providing. Also, we have Jim Walden, independent. He's a decent, he's a good guy. I don't agree with all his political stances, but that's another option. He's not dirty,
Well, you both
sorry.
You both will be able to. Sorry about that, Kozi. Go ahead. You can finish your thought, bro. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. And I just want to say he does stand for medical freedom, so I will have support for him as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. But before we get into all the politics and a little bit of Maha tonight too, we're going to get into some of that as well. There's some good stuff on the horizon that's been going on. If in the news this week, if you probably haven't seen it, well, most of you probably have, because you guys are all intelligent and you guys are all in tune with everything, right? That's how our viewers are. But if you haven't, we'll talk about some other stuff. We'll bring up some articles to go over, and I'm sure just through the course of where the conversation is going, we'll get into other things as well. But there is some good news on the Maha front, so that's a good thing. But without further ado, we are going to listen to RosAngel. She just put out a song called Wokey Pokey Land. Download it on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere you can find it. I downloaded it first day. But we're going to play some of her music, and then we're going to play Kozi's music too, because they both make music, right? So that's good. And it's political music, and it's our music, and it's what we need to be sharing with one another and whatnot. So let's bring in Wokey Pokey Land by RosAngel. Okay, so let's get it, fam. Of course, YouTube, right? YouTube, just fucking with me. Yeah, they might copyright me. Hey, YouTube, don't copyright me tonight like you did the other night, okay? Because I literally have the creator here with me, okay? You fuckers.
Hey, you can't mind control me. You can't mind control me.
See? I bet you it's them.
They don't like the message.
I bet you it's them.
See right through the bullshit. You can't mind control me. You can't mind control me. I see right through the bullshit. Welcome to Wokey Pokey Land. Where everything goes, where anything goes, and everything goes.
See, look, I'm telling you, they're fucking with us.
I just want espresso. You can't mind control me. You can't mind control me. I see right through the bullshit. You can't mind control me. You can't mind control me. I see right through the bullshit. MK Ultra Trickster. I see what you're.
Unbelievable.
Doing via the television, got the loop.
That's the remix. That's the MK Ultra, like it's really is like the remix of, it's battling the message of the song, which is
loop, loopy loop,
loopy loop.
loop.
Yeah, I wonder if he rewinds
Loop, got the loopy loop, loopy loop, loopy loop.
Naughty. Bueno, mi gente, Wokey Pokey Land is available on all streaming platforms. Without all the interruptions, I think it's kind of a fun song.
They fucking suck, I swear.
Gotta sound loopy loop. Bye. I just wanna express myself. You
can't mind
control me. Wokey Pokey Land. You can't mind control me. You can't mind control me. I see right through the bullshit. me. You can't control me. I see right through the bullshit. Bye. I just wanna express myself. Wokey pokey land.
Fucking great. Finally, fuckers. I swear, they just constantly fucking with me, man. So what made you want to do, what made you, I mean, I know you guys are just very active with stuff. Yeah, it finally, what do you call it, went. What's good, Scoob? What made you just like decide to do Wokey Pokey Land?
Well, because okay, first of all, let me define Wokey Pokey Land, because we already
True.
know what woke is and we already know pokey, right?
Yep.
But what I'm trying to say together is that we live in a society that whichever facet, echo chamber you might find yourself in, these little manipulative voices have crept in all of these places, whether it's entertainment, politics, you know it. Like, people are everywhere trying to tell you how to live, how to talk, what not to say, what to express. So in Wokey Pokey Land, anything and everything goes, except freedom of speech.
Right.
So that's what all the eyes are about. It's a variation of pleasure to pain to getting the poke. And also wanting to break free, right? Break the machine, breaking free from Wokey Pokey Land, and either enjoying an espresso and having a moment with yourself, right? And breaking free out of the chaos. But also, because we live in Wokey Pokey Land, we can't run away. This is what this is. So what do we do with it? We either run away from it and Netflix and chill and wake up tomorrow and think we're going to have a better day, or realize that there's a reason why people like us, health freedom activists turned artists, are everywhere now, because we realize that even artists got censored besides the doctors. Like, some of our stuff, like La Máscara, which is a parody entertainment, in 2025 got removed from YouTube. So this sort of tells you where we're at. We're living in very dangerous times, and part of it does have, like, it does correlate with where we're at today in New York City, for example, Blue City, where me and Kozi can speak about very intimately, in terms of the boots on the ground and all of the very angry, unhinged people, and how well funded certain entities are, and how the youth are flocking to some of these well-funded individuals. So, as we unfold the conversation, we'll get more into it. But even though it's a funny song, it's rooted in sort of like doing something creative in that chaos, in that anger, and in that trauma that many of us are still recovering from.
Right. No, I appreciate, I absolutely appreciate it. And, you threw a little throwback too with the beats and whatnot. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was kind of feeling that. First time I heard it, like, took me back a little bit, and I was like, all right, let's keep it going. But I mean, I understood your message right off the bat, probably because I understand you and your message, because I've been following you, and I listen to your stuff, repost your stuff and everything, because your message is our message anyway. But we're gonna get into Kozi too. Kozi's got some music as well. We're gonna play a song by him called "I'm Unvaccinated." Did I say that right? I'm unvaccinated.
Yeah.
All right, I want to make sure that I said that right, homie.
I think it's called. Yeah, I think it might just be called "Unvaccinated," the title. But when you play it, it'll say it.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Here's some of Kozi. Hopefully, we can get through his song without any bullshit. You hear me, fucking YouTube? I have the creators here.
Rip your mask off your face and embrace revolution. When tyranny's a problem, then rebellion's a solution. Public servants ain't serving me, then who
See? Fuckers. Here we go.
I'm over here observing.
the fuck they serving? I already know the answer, I've been over here observing. Follow the money and you'll catch them fucking rats. They lab engineered a common cold from the bats, making humans more susceptible, behaviors unacceptable. Isn't this supposed to be the land of the free? Then why you trying to force them injections into me? Where my freedom fighters at? Raise the truth off this mother, middle fingers in the air, cause we fucking big brother, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't putting on no mask. So don't you try to tell me, don't you even fucking ask. We know about the reset, we know what's in the shots. They're planning on merging humans with robots. We're gonna intercept their plots or their evil insanity. We're the last stand for the future of humanity. Ain't nowhere to run, ain't nowhere to hide. Stand against these tyrants, help us turn around the tide. Where my freedom fighters at? Raise the truth off this mother, middle fingers in the air, cause we fucking big brother, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't putting on no mask. So don't you try to tell me, don't you even fucking ask.
They deactivated, they done took over their mind. They done cut off all the switches, they done shut off all the lights. Go get vaccinated. They went running, got in line, but it ain't even their fault, cause they running around blind, they indoctrinated. From the moment we turn 5, they been programming our brain. They been filling it with lies, get reactivated. Take control over your mind. If you listen, I can show you how to read between the lines. And for those who tell the lie, won't be no mercy.
I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't putting on no mask. So don't you try to tell me, don't you even fucking ask.
Fuck a crooked politician on the money making mission, man. If they ain't for the people, run them out of their position. They can mandate what they want, just another pot to piss in. I'm a free man, homie, never needed no permission. Freedom ain't for free, gotta pay for your admission. Put some soldiers in position, gonna arrest some sons of bitches. We got proof beyond suspicion about the crimes they committed, and we supposed to trust them. Fuck that, where my freedom fighters at? Yeah, the truth in this motherfucker, bird is in the air, cause we fucking big brother, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you no papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you no papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you no papers, I ain't showing you no papers, I ain't putting on no mask. And don't you try and tempt me, bitch, I put one in your ass.
I'm vaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I'm unvaccinated. I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't showing you my papers, I ain't putting on no mask. So don't you try to tell me, don't you even fucking ask.
Nice, Kozi. Fucking A, man. That fits right in with our people. Holy shit, that shit.
Yeah,
wow.
that was during the pandemic where that's when I came up with the song. But it took me a while to record it because that I was new to recording.
Yeah.
So but it was an intense time for people, especially that lived in New York. We were cornered like cornered rats, and they wouldn't let us get into supermarkets. They wouldn't let us eat at restaurants. They wouldn't let us go anywhere. They tried to be abusive, and they would call police officers on us just for trying to shop, just for not wanting to put a face diaper on our faces. So that's where that came from, and I lost my job
I lost my job in New York too because of that. Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, the fucking people are feeling it. You got Fire Scoop live stream throwing fire. He said that's a hood ass beat.
Nice.
Hi Rosie, what's going on, honey? Everybody's like they're repeating freedom isn't free, gotta pay for your admission. That's hard. That's what's up. Scoob live stream says he says finna spin the block to this.
Nice.
General Mills throwing up the fire trucks and whatnot. Everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. You guys making music like this is what's up. Okay. And I know there's more of us that make music. You know what I'm saying? So like we need to put our music out just to start freaking getting people to tune into life again and tune into what the fuck is going around on us and stuff like that and to pay attention. Go ahead, RosAngel. What you got, Mom?
I just want to add a little note of correction to the record.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, before I forget, I just want to shout out Ito the Truth, who's the other artist,
Right.
in that, bringing in the Florida flow. He's also part Puerto Rican, so shout out to him,
Mm-hmm.
or full Puerto Rican. Forgive me if I got that wrong, brother. But yeah, no, there's a lot. There's quite an amount of, whether you want to put them in a Christian category, conservative category, political or activist, sort of like indie artists that are everywhere.
I agree.
The reason you may not know about them is because we're all censored,
Yeah.
which is what leads me to end up writing a silly song like Wokey Pokey Land, because that's how ridiculous life is right now. And for those people who have the creative hearts, many people are feeling really frustrated because people who are gatekeepers to music, and we're learning we're learning so much, right, about how people buy likes and all this other stuff, and these fake generated inflated numbers to make somebody or someone seem like they're so potent. And so it's not just with music. We see that play out with certain political people who are running for office, such as the Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani.
There's no such thing as a democratic fucking socialist, but I like how they call themselves that. Yeah, fucking what's his name? Zofran? Whatever the fuck his
Zoran.
name? The
Zoran.
Zohan, whatever the fuck his name is. Moron?
Yeah.
He's got an alien name, like something out of a sci-fi, Zoran or some shit.
And the dude never worked. He worked. They literally put a New York Post article about him. I posted about it the other day. He's only worked 3 years of his whole entire life. 3 years. The guy is a prince. His mother is very wealthy, and he comes off like a socialist. Like, oh, I'm a socialist, but he's coming from the penthouse, right? And nothing wrong with
Yeah.
people having money, but when you're
Right.
preaching socialism and
Yeah,
you're
right.
you're trying to be a hero for what whatever, man. Like screw him and screw all you socialists out there. You guys are very gullible. Most of you are gullible, and most of you are probably nice people, but you're very gullible, and you need to wake up and learn why the United States was created. We don't
Right.
want collectivism. We want to respect the individual. Okay, collectivism is not for the United States. You want collectivism? Get out of here. Go back to wherever you came from. Go
Right.
find a place that wants the collective, because this shit
Well,
is
I
about
mean,
this country is about the individual, and that's what
but
made this country creative and revolutionary.
but they don't want to go back, right? You see, they're fighting in the fucking streets in LA, right? They don't want to go back to their countries and shit, right? Because they know the countries are fucking shit countries that are just that socialist nations, right? They won't have the same fucking freedoms in many of those places that some of these assholes came from and whatnot, And I agree with you 100%. Go back. We've been saying that shit forever, right? If you don't like it here, go the fuck back, right? Just get
Yeah.
the fuck out, and we're gonna continue to say that because
The
it's
thing,
it's just we don't
Yeah.
belong here.
there are nuances to this.
Mhm.
I don't think that the people who just migrated here, illegally, whichever camp you happen to fall in terms of like, oh, don't say that they're not illegal people, they're not aliens, whatever. The people that just came here, I don't think they're broadcasting themselves for the most part with
No, no,
science.
no. I agree with
Those
that.
are those are activists that are, if not paid,
Correct.
they come from nonprofit sources, and
Correct.
most of them live either with, have been programmed into the story that, as we have talked about before, many of us have been hearing this sort of like programming to accept, hey, this is a land of immigrants, and but then no one tells you, hey, in other places the running a country quite doesn't run like in this sort of wokey pokey land idealism that many people have sort of woken up to. And there are many aspects of these illusions, like when they sold us feminism or modern kind of ways, like we're in the great undoing, but within that great undoing and that chaos, a lot of beautiful things are flourishing. I'm excited for these times because I think this is when you get the greatest of arts, that come out in expression movies, poetry, and things like that. You know, there's nothing like entertainment, like a song, like a meme that can penetrate an algorithm or just really hone in so quickly a message. And so we just need to get better at it, for example, in politics, because the Democrats and specifically the democratic socialists, they're well funded and they know how to reach the young people. They know how to message to the young people. And the Republicans, the conservatives, they're the people who are running do not get a lot of this. So we've been in rooms with people with a lot of money who are like, I want to fund independent campaigns. And then we're in other rooms where there's independent candidates that are like, I want to tell people about my great platform, but no one will know about me because I can't even afford to hire a marketing communications person. And so what does that mean? That means that everybody else, like those of us who have jobs, those of us who are like who may have like a little extra like on the side and might want to just use your money in a way that helps other people. There are a lot of ways that you could use your money to empower, whether it's local politics, whether it's local activism, whether it's local artists, whether it's a local community center. And then that way you enrich and you help appreciate those who have been like dying on the streets in many facets just for the sake of pushing against these tyrannical societies that we find ourselves in blue cities, for example. Hello, Red.
Well, just I'm
Going
gonna
on,
add a
Scott.
little something to what you were saying, okay? How they're getting to these kids and stuff like that. You have to understand. We talked about this. You guys have probably heard me say this shit at nauseum and at length, okay, about how Marxism started its infiltration in the late 19th century, right? And then all throughout the 20th century, it went fucking unabated. Nobody, nobody paid attention. And then the people that did pay attention and tried to bring it to light, were all called crazy conspiracy theorists and all stuff like that. That was the issue, right? So they infiltrated our schools, our churches, absolutely every fucking institution, and they played the long game. That's why they're winning is because they played the long game. Whereas us, we see it wrong and we want to fucking destroy it right away. Okay, when the mechanisms aren't in place for us to destroy it right away, right? Or we're not in power to destroy it right away. Even when we're in power, we still don't have enough fucking power, right? We still don't do it the right way. All right. So I just wanted to add a little bit on that. And for some reason, this guy Zofran, all right, whatever the fuck his name is, all right, he appeals to the youth because he sounds like a populist, but he's just a Marxist, and like what Kozi was saying, a Marxist that comes from a fucking silver spoons. All right, like he has fucking money, all right, and he can say whatever he wants. He's not gonna live the way he's gonna make other people live, right? They never live like that, right? They talk about socialism, they talk about how great it is, democratic socialism. Okay, it's never been tried here in the United States. No such fucking thing as democratic socialism. Those two words just don't go together and fucking fit. All right. And then we get what we have. And these kids, they eat it up because they're young and impressionable, right? He looks young, he dresses up a little dapper, he's loud, he fucking speaks up, and he's talking to them about the things that they've been hearing their whole life since they were kids. All right. From their own family members that the man's has got you, the white man this, the white man that, fucking you can't get ahead because of the color of your skin or the type of hair you have or the language you speak. And they believe this shit. It's a generation to generation thing. So how we undo that? If you guys got an answer, I will fucking gladly listen to it and hear it.
Oh, and he also tried to rap too. You should pull up his YouTube video of him rapping. It's pretty freaking hilarious. It's pretty
I'm not gonna
pathetic.
give that. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
give that communist fucking ear time. Fucking. What's up, Red Day? Good to see you, brother. Hey, Jay Mitchell. It's good to see you. I see some other people. Yeah, it's all right, man. It's all good. We all have lives, man. It is what it is, man. We just got to do what we got to do. I got a text from Blondie. Omar Navarro had a family emergency. He's not going to be able to make it, and we'll just have to reschedule him. And when he has some time, his trial is coming up, so I don't know if he's going to have time to come on any show at that point. Um, You know, if he has time, we'll bring him back. But I just want to thank Blondie for trying to make that make it happen, trying to get his story out and whatnot. These things happen sometimes, and there's really nothing we can do. Red Day, what is up, brother? How you been, man?
Crazy busy. Crazy busy. Just
Yeah, I know.
yeah, well, just about to hit 150,000.
I told
And
you. I said by the fucking weekend you'll be at 150K. I told you that, man.
Nice, very nice.
It's
probably by
moving.
tomorrow. I'm
That's
thinking
excellent.
by tomorrow.
Congratulations.
That's fucking great, man. That's good to hear, man. I'm glad
Awesome.
one of us is doing good. I'm just on fucking. They got me on that piragua ice, right? And the dude is just shaving my back. He's just like shaving me and
Mhm.
shit. He's like, "Do you want some tamarindo? You want some coco? ¿Qué quieres?" Fucking and just fucking, hitting me with that shit. I'm stuck on the
It's all
ice.
good though.
I
You
ain't
know,
going anywhere.
you're gonna have your breakthrough. Don't worry. You just gotta keep going, keep steady,
Man.
keep going. And to anybody out there who's stuck, just keep going. Eventually,
Yeah,
you're
we
gonna
gotta.
break
It
through.
is. It's constant grind. You gotta
I was
grind.
stuck I was stuck at 20,000 forever. I was stuck
Yeah.
at 20,000 for like almost a year. Like I was losing. Every day I would watch like 30 to 40 followers drop off every day, no
Yeah.
matter what I did, no matter how many
Yeah.
people I tried to connect with and tag and everything, and it didn't matter.
Well, I think there's gatekeepers. There's gatekeepers. It's a CIA
Oh, yeah.
program. Social media is being controlled by the CIA, and they're not going to let certain people come through.
Right.
They want you to. You have to be a certain type of person to get 1 million followers, right? Like they're not going to just let you get it. You're going to have to find ways to. You'll get there, but
I mean, I'm still banned from going live. I'm banned until next April.
What did you do?
Nice. Nice.
You don't even know, right?
It was a 360. First, it was a 30-day ban. Came back for a day, and then it was a 365-day ban.
Wow.
Don't know what it was.
They didn't even tell you
Maybe
what you said.
No, I don't know. The only thing that changed was if you remember, like after the election, I was live streaming quite a few Trump like press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's him or Carolyn Levitt, and maybe they didn't like that. I don't know, because those lives that I did, I was getting great activity. Like I was having like a couple hundred people jumping on at a time, just to listen to Carolyn Levitt go through all the executive orders and just to read off like what was going on, and a lot of people were receptive to that, and maybe that's what they didn't like. I don't know.
Yeah, they've gotten me
Who knows?
since January, man. Since we got pulled down, bro. I've been.
Mhm.
I tell everybody, it's literally
yeah.
this. I'm not even fucking lying, bro. It's 20.
Nope.
This is on ID. It goes between for the last 6 months between 22,101 and 22,199. It fluctuates between those two. Never goes past and hits 22,200. Never. I haven't hit it yet. It's fucking amazing. All I do is look at it and laugh because it's like it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna stop fucking grinding. I'm not gonna stop posting what I have to post or reposting, good stuff from like all of you guys and stuff like that. That shit ain't gonna stop me. They can do whatever they want. They mean me. But yeah, this mayoral shit going on in New York City. You have Zofran. You have fucking, what's his name? Fucking Homo is in the race. Is he actually leading?
He's leading apparently.
You guys are gonna
Apparently.
get fucking.
What
Governor
happened to
Homo is gonna be
Zofran?
Yeah.
Zoran?
Did you guys?
I'm gonna get everybody.
Zoran.
I'm gonna get everybody calling him Zofran.
I thought it was Zofran too.
Well, listen, my sister,
I'm saying on Poly Market, his thing like bottomed out like the last 48 hours on Poly Market. I mean, what happened that like turned everybody off?
With Zoran?
Yeah, they were saying like he was closing the gap with Cuomo, and then like all of a sudden, like I think Wednesday or Thursday, it like boom, he like dropped out.
Maybe it's been all this shit I've been posting about him, and
Yeah, you've been.
Cozy is a little brat sometimes on social
Cozy
media.
has been pretty diligent about fucking
Keep
Zofran.
it up, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, so like it's spreading like that. The New York Post article spreading, showing his true colors. Like he's a prince. He's not, this, little freaking. He's not a working class man. He never worked. I was just telling him before you got on. He's only worked 3 years in his life. How the hell are you even qualified to be mayor? You should be disqualified at that point. Like how are you a man? You call yourself a man and you've only worked 3 years in your entire life? You're not a man. You are not a man.
He's not a man. He was freaking crying in front of the reporters the other day. Wasn't that him?
Why are they crying? There's like this trend of Democrats crying, like
Yeah,
from the
I posted all
Goya
of
and all
them.
that.
Well, you know why?
When Biden didn't win
Because they weren't
again, like
allowed. Well, because when they weren't allowed, the recent trend is when they're not allowed to go into the ice facility
Yeah.
or stop ice from doing something, they get freaking strong armed to the ground like they should for standing
Yep.
in the, even if they're just standing in the way. Get the hell out of the damn
Yeah,
way.
because the crying appeals to the emotional testicleless, men in the Democrat Party, and all those, the blue-haired
But
little
does
young
it?
people.
It
They're
Yeah.
like, oh,
but
it's
I want to
sensitivity.
do it. I want to do a side by side because I think that's a strategy that probably works for the primary
Hmm.
Yep.
for the Democrats. But when it
Correct.
comes to the general election, I don't think you're going to see anybody sitting there crying at the microphone.
Probably not.
It's going to
Oh
be
no,
just the
probably
opposite.
not,
He's going
man.
to go back to yelling and screaming again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
That was
dipshit
the
who got fucking hemmed up the other day, right? He comes out in front of the camera and he's just like,
Brad.
Yeah.
he's like, I was trying to, and I was holding on to him and I asked him for a warrant and I was gonna continue to hold on to. Then he says this like it to this something to this extent. I'm paraphrasing here. Okay, is I was gonna let him go if he showed me the warrant. Well, why are your hands on a fucking a law enforcement officer? You
a federal
asshole. What do
agent.
you
Yeah.
expect? Yeah, just law enforcement in general. Your hands on. You put your hands on him. What do you think is gonna happen?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
And
they're
he's out
walkie
there crying.
pokies.
But
Yeah,
it was smart on his part. Listen, that was a publicity stunt. He knew it, and that gained him name recognition. Like nobody knew who the fuck he was,
right.
right? Nobody knew. Now all of a sudden, like my daughter knows who he is. Like young
Hmm.
people know who he is. Who's
Right.
Well,
Landers?
some people are choosing him either first or second.
Hmm.
There's a lot of people who are voting for Zoran that are putting Brad second or vice versa as a flip, because
Really.
those folks do not want under any circumstances Andrew Cuomo. They don't want Andrew Cuomo for some of the reasons and for different reasons, and some of the conservative and Republicans don't want Andrew Cuomo. So there's
Right.
like sort of like a crossover. But what's interesting is when you do boots on the ground, like when we were doing outreach and trying to get like petitions to get candidates on the ballot, and you're going to different regions, it does tell. So before we really knew too much about Zoran, if you're just by boots on the ground and who's supporting him and where those people are that live that are supporting him, you're like, oh, I get it. Also, why all these people who live in this environment, where people are like really, walking their little pets to Whole Foods type of environments, they're the ones that are supporting Zoran. And yet you ask them, because we would ask them, that why do you support him? And sometimes they don't really even have too much of a reason, other than the talking points that everybody already knows, which, he wants to have public funded grocery stores, like government funded grocery
Yeah.
stores, for example.
Right. Because that went so well in fucking Cuba and Venezuela. Right. Okay.
Yeah. It always worked.
Yeah. Right. Because we could just look at our Cuban cousins and see how fucking that has been going over for fucking 50 plus years. What, 70 years now? Yep. That's fantastic. It's going fucking great. You know what it
Yeah. So
is?
you
Go
can
ahead,
see the
Cozy.
demographics. Yeah, you can see the demographics, like the Upper East Side, for instance, right? People who had wealth and like people who are like in their like above 40, I would say 45 and older crowd, and Jewish people are going to vote for Cuomo because he's aligning with the pro Israel. Meanwhile, and this is crazy because this is a mayoral race. This has nothing to do with what's going on in Gaza. So first of all, a mayor should not even be speaking upon, uh, you know, world stuff, right? Stick to the freaking city, clean up the city. The next thing I wanted to say is like, then when you look at the young socialists, um, give me 1 second. Sorry, somebody's knocking on my door. Sorry, I gotta.
Go for it.
Well, I'll pick up a little bit
Go ahead.
on the
Go ahead,
topic of
Rosanna.
Zoran, and I know Cozy wants to say something a little bit different.
Sorry
Which is
about that.
okay. Cozy, go.
Oh, what was I saying? So yeah, then you have the young, 20-year-olds to like 35-year-olds, right, that are going to be voting for that socialist Zoran, and it's because the young people have no experience in life. These young people are just socialism sounds cool because that's what they were taught. They were taught that in school, and all this propaganda, and he's speaking a good game. I mean, he looked great during the debates, right? When he went up there, he had all the right answers. he looked like a superstar at that point. Not in my eyes, but what I'm saying is he had all the right answers. He was attacking Cuomo, uh, so he looked like the better person. He's young. Many women think that he's handsome looking, and he's charismatic. So he's gaining in the polls, and he might actually win. He might actually win.
And can I say something that might not be very popular, or depending on the ears who hear it? And Kozi, you alluded to it earlier. It's a mayoral race in New York City. Why is it so important for the moderator to have and insist on each candidate not only sharing where they stand with Israel, but also will they visit Israel? And the fact that Zohran Mamdani was the only one out of all of the ones on that stage being asked that question that said, I do not have plans to visit Israel. I have plans to serve my constituents in New York City, and I will meet my Jewish constituents in New York City wherever they're at. Yo, even I'm giving him the clap. And so that type of rhetoric is one of the reasons that he has so much of the young people. And one of the reasons that it's hard for us to even engage and try to promote Republican or conservative or even middle of the road Democrats is there is such a mindset that they're demons, and I don't think it's easier right now these days to wear a MAGA or a Maha hat in New York City. And folks that I know that have been boots on the ground, even including a woman who was one of the people that started Latinos for Trump, even she has shared with me that she doesn't even feel too comfortable in the state of rage affairs to be out there hanging out with a MAGA hat, and she's in Texas. So it just sort of shows you where we're at.
Yeah, these people have been programmed.
Where in Texas is she at that she's having a problem with a MAGA hat?
Austin, maybe?
Yeah, it's got to be
No,
Austin.
she's not in Austin. No, she's close to the border.
Well, I mean, that makes a little sense, but even the people in the border were sick and tired of the illegal shit. That if you look at the last election, it got redder on the border. It's still considered blue, but it got redder.
The blue areas are the big. Yeah, the blue areas are the big cities.
Right.
Yeah, but they have all had run-ins with Antifa in all of these states.
Well,
I've been on calls with many of them. When you check in, and representatives from different cities and states come in and chime in and share their experiences. She's great at organizing boots on the ground folks like that. And I've been fortunate. Shout out to Bianca Gracia of Latinos for America First. She's also a woman, boots on the ground. She's doing great big things too. And America First. And also advocating for the Latino plight and having conversations with people in the White House. She just had a White House briefing. She just attended a White House briefing with her team, and she's doing big things. So we're all connected to people who have a passion for la gente, have a passion for what it means to be able to live in America and have an opportunity to make a better and greater life here.
But you hit something though when you said something about that she continues to have run-ins with Antifa.
No, not her. No, I'm saying is in the past when we've had when people have calls, you have these private calls with all these different entities and people are sharing across the board. Everyone has had run-ins.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. And right now, since we're approaching what could be what they're trying to push as a Summer of Love 2.0, people aren't stupid. Like even some of our hardcore, like I'm not going to speak for Kozi, but I don't consider myself hardcore MAGA. I consider myself really more on the Maha RFK. That's sort of like how I ended up here. But even some of our hardest core freedom fighters in New York that are hardcore MAGA that have been the pain in the asses that you see in almost every rally that goes viral in New York, even they are turning their MAGA hats on the subway or in different aspects of, they just are trying to, like, people are just, the demonic the demonic gets in there, whether they're with a group of people or not. And then there's also a lot of funny stuff popping in every day. It doesn't get reported in the news all of the time, but alternative media is reporting it. All this crazy group violent shit that keeps popping up with teenagers or whatever, and violence and people getting knifed up in the subway system. I mean, so much for congestion pricing.
Right. Well, it doesn't fit the narrative, right? Like there's supposedly New York City safer. I know you posted like a mob. You showed a teenage mob a video of they were just beating the shit out of each other in front of the fucking in the train station and in front of where you get your Metro card and whatnot. And it was just a group of them, fighting and whatnot. And it's I agree that teenage mob thing has been going on for a long time now. And that doesn't get coverage because it doesn't fit the narrative, especially in New York City, because supposedly, according to Rat Tooth Rita, okay, the subways are fucking better. The city overall is better, and then she's gonna continue to. She's by the way, she's also gonna help the illegals fucking fight the administration with money. Millions. We'll spend $50 million to take care of illegals and everything like that. But fuck the homeless. Okay, fuck my constituents in my state altogether. I just finished spending billions of dollars from the state between the city and the state for 4 years, but we're just gonna add another 50 mil because it's just a drop in the bucket to them.
This has never happened in any country, I think, in history, where you would like take somebody who broke into this country. They don't even belong here. They're illegally broke the law to get in here, and you're going to give them legal defense. That not only, I mean, we're so used to it now, but it's like this
dollars.
You're stealing from us. That's thievery. That like you need to go to jail, bitch. And on top of that, right before that, they were housing them in fancy freaking hotels. We saw this shit was absurd. I could not believe
video games,
like in a fancy hotel, and then giving them more money than I have. Like you're just fucking feeding them. That's crazy.
Well,
free flights.
Think about all the money that the fucking Roosevelt Hotel got, right? Now that the last bit of Biden's illegals are pretty much filing out. Think about all the money they got in the 4 years that they were doing this, not just from the federal government, but from the city of New York. Okay, they're gonna be that hotel is gonna be completely and totally renovated on fucking taxpayer dime.
Yeah.
Right, because they destroyed that hotel.
Yeah, this is a bigger conversation, right? Like all this stuff is obviously this is surface stuff, right? It's all surface, but there is a plan, as you all know, right? You all understand there is a plan. It's like to pit us against each other, to keep us fighting with each other. I have nothing wrong with people who come into this country illegally. Like they're good human beings, most of them, right? They're coming here because their country, they can't make a living. Maybe they're having problems in the country. So I have no beef. I want to put that out there. Every human being I respect, right? Now you come into here, I'm blaming our government for allowing this to happen, and all the stuff that happened, right? Like all this black market stuff that happened as a result. I mean, the coyotes were getting money, $15,000, $10,000 to $15,000 was reported per person coming over that border. So they're making money there. They're human trafficking. We see it in Jackson Heights, Roosevelt Avenue. There's young women being sold. Drug problems, fentanyl problems. So much shit, man. It's a big operation, and the money, the Biden administration was making, under the just black market money. But what I'm saying is, man, like this is all about globalism. This is all about the Great Reset. This is about making every country a third world country, so we are not comfortable anymore. Okay, that's what I see here. They're gonna make us uncomfortable because comfortable people don't obey. Right? You don't obey when you're comfortable. You obey when you're scared, you're fearful, and you don't have money in your pocket. They said you will own nothing and be happy. And this is what we're about to see. What is about to happen right now? They're warning us. They've been warning us, right? World Economic Forum has been telling us a cyber attack is coming, and we have to be prepared. A cyber attack is coming. Now, I always said this. Last 2 years, I said there's going to be a boogeyman. I don't know if it's going to be China. I don't know if it's going to be Iran. I don't know if it's going to be a domestic terrorist that they're going to blame. Now they're blaming Iran, which is bullshit, and they're gonna do this very soon. We had that CIA guy come on the news and say, a former CIA agent saying, I guarantee you that within 30 days, Iran's gonna cyber attack the United States, but it's gonna be our own intelligence doing that.
I don't have any love for the fucking Iranian
Did you
fucking
guys?
government. They killed a whole bunch of us in Iraq and Afghanistan with their fucking weaponry. So I really could give a rat's ass about them. Their people, on the other hand,
Mhm.
um, every time they fucking stand up, they get fucking smashed
Yeah.
down. The Persians in general are actually very good people. They're not Arabs, they're Persians, so people need to understand that. But as far as the fucking Ayatollah and his fucking, I could give a rat's ass about them. They killed enough of my fucking people and shit like that. Like I said, with their fucking weaponry, right or wrong, whether we should have been in Iraq, a lot of us fucking died because of their stuff. So they can all fucking. I don't care if they get. Honestly, I don't really give a shit about what's going on. I only want shit to get better here in the United States. They can bomb each other into fucking oblivion. That's on them. So, but as
No, no,
far as
yeah.
the
The
as
problem
far
is
as the Iranian government, I could give a rat's fuck what happens to any of those people. The Persian people, on the other hand, I hope they get an opportunity to fucking take their country back, because if anybody knows what that country was like prior to the fucking the Muslim fucking, what do you call it, revolution there, even though it was a very mixed country. We had a lot of Christians in Persia and whatnot. Okay, right into the 70s until the fucking revolution there, and they took over things and got rid of the Shah. So, I mean, that's just how I feel. Persian people I worry about, because they're always trying to fucking stand up. They're always trying to push back, but they always get fucking smacked down. So if they get an opportunity to fucking take their country back and get some freedom, more power to them. But I understand where you're coming from, Cozy. Just me personally,
no, I mean,
the
I mean,
Iranian government,
there's
I
well,
could
there's
fucking
many
care
levels to
less
this.
about any of them.
Yeah, listen, there's many levels to
I don't.
this, and it's a bigger problem, right? And this is the beginning of the next phase of this whole, the great reset that they keep doing, right? This is
Right.
stacked upon. It was COVID, right before that was said 9/11. Then COVID was a major, all these things are abusing the people, psychologically hitting us hard, right? Anyway, I could go on and on, man, but like, there's definitely a plan to, I think, wipe out a lot of these Muslims, right? The Muslim religion, because I think that they see this as, the Muslims are very passionate about their religion, right? I see them going harder than any other. They go harder than Christians, harder than the Jewish people, or maybe equal, but I think they'll. What I'm trying to say is, when the New World Order system is going to be implemented as it's about to, right? Think about transhumanism, the cyborg stuff, the AI stuff, and all the stuff that they're going to try to do to us with the biometrics and all of that. I think the Muslims will not go for it, and I think what they're doing is killing off as many of them as possible, so they're not that resistance for the New World Order. I think that's what we're witnessing here, right? That's just my opinion. I think they're doing that, and then once they wipe out that, then they're going to come in and be able to, to do what they do. That's just one perspective. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's a thought that I'm having. Is saying, like, getting rid of religion. Anybody who's going to resist the New World Order.
Well, that's different. Getting rid of religion. I see the Muslims as a different. I see they were born out of violence. They continue to be violent. They have never had a reformation. Are there some good Muslims? I'm sure there are. I've come across a few of them, but like for me personally, you know, a lot of them will fucking. Especially when I see these twinks running around talking about we're for them and this and all. Twinks for fucking Palestine or whatever it is. Okay, they get tossed off a fucking building in one of those countries for being who they are and whatnot.
Yeah, no, no,
So
not that. But what I'm saying is, the point is that they will stick up, and most Muslims I've met in my life, they're usually good people, right? Like you say, like people in Iran, they're good people. We're talking about governments. We're talking about all governments are the ones that are causing the problems, right? In all these countries,
that's
they're
the
causing
problem.
the wars. They're not saying I'm going to bomb you. They're not going to, do all this crazy stuff that went on. You know how it is, man. It's always governments putting us in positions where now we have
Correct.
to, you know, we have
It's
to
our
suffer.
politicians. It's our politicians. They won't send their
Of
own
course.
people to do the dirty work, right? They won't send their own kids. They'll send everybody else's kids. But
Correct.
RosAngel, what's going on down there? I see you quiet. I know you got an opinion.
When don't I? I have to
I know.
practice shutting the effie uppy sometimes.
Nah, you don't have to shut the FE up ever on this show. You know that.
No, but I recognize also as a woman that a lot of times us ladies dominate the conversaciones. And I like listening when the gents are speaking and chopping it up. And I feel honored and privileged. So that's why I was quiet. But yeah,
We
I
gotta
have some
make.
stuff. Um, New York Post, New York City inks 1 billion shelter contract with hotels to house 86,000 immigrants and homeless despite claims that migrant crisis is easing. And this is, so yeah, obviously the taxpayers are on the hook for this. And this is supposed to run through, I think, till June of next year. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
A ton. It is a ton. It just doesn't. It's like never
It,
ending,
it
right?
doesn't,
The
it
theft.
es un cantazo, un galletazo. It's a smack in the face one after the other. Like you pick up your pride a little bit and all of a sudden they want you to squash it down some more. And feel shameful. Like how dare you not be more like, rolling out the red carpet. But there's a lot of people having a hard time in America. There's a lot of people that are paying their groceries with credit cards. There's a lot of mom and dads that are trying to figure out how they're going to feed their loved one, or are they going to pay a bill, or are they going to get the medication, or are they going to pay rent? I mean, this
You're
is a
building okay?
reality. So when I know, like, guess we live in a really, it's summer, the city, the
Yeah.
sirens, but the point is that that's like a smack in the face. And then you see politicians throwing themselves, getting arrested, crying to protect people that they advocated for them to be here illegally. So I'm not even angry at the people who crossed the border. My anger is towards these politicians who keep playing with people's lives, because a lot of these people made great sacrifices to get here, despite the fact that maybe they knew or they didn't understand how greatly they were breaking the law. But let's not forget, Biden said, bienvenidos, we will welcome you. And that, the floodgates got opened. Now we're trying to, we have a messaging problem. And when everything is hijacked in the main communication tools by people with the preferred messaging, it's a little hard, like, to be out there and simply just having a little sign that says, hey, do you want to sign this petition for a Republican that's running, and to get cussed out 10, 20, 30, 40 times a day. I mean, some people
I
got
saw that
spit
happening
at.
to you guys. I saw that happening
Yeah.
to you and your sister
We,
were out there, right?
it wasn't just us. It was Kozi, like, and other people. Like, we got spit at, and we got cussed out, sent to hell, told that we weren't, that we didn't belong here. People shamed us, and most of these
Correction.
interactions
I didn't get
happened
spit
with
at.
people that we weren't even talking to.
Right.
I didn't get spit at. Correction, because I would slap the out of you.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
that.
it
That
was
would
it was it was myself and somebody else on the team that got spit at,
that's
but it
see,
didn't
that's
hit
fucking
us.
terrible.
It landed away from us.
No,
I
I could.
want to
Go ahead.
clarify that, because I see some comments there, because I didn't get to finish my thoughts, so maybe like they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. But basically, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying whether I agree or not with the Islamic religion. What I'm saying is, they're going to go after religion in general, right? They're going to
As
go
a
after
whole.
the Muslim religion, and once they're done with that, they're going to go after the Christians. Then they're going to go after the Jews. Then they want to eliminate religion,
Well,
because
well,
religion
they've
is
already did Christianity though, Cozy.
absolutely,
Christianity. Yeah, they've
absolutely,
already did Christianity, right? Because think about it. We got cookie Christians in in the United States right now.
no doubt.
And it's a generational thing, right? And again, when it goes back to what I was saying with the infiltration, going back to the late 19th century, they infiltrated absolutely every institution, including our churches. So they've already fucking stomped out fucking the best they can. And we're still a very Christian country, but it's that's why I guess a lot more younger Christians have been a lot more outspoken, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
They're
and the
swaying more
last thing I
towards
want to
Christian.
say,
Go ahead.
about that, it's basically what it is about is unity, right? Anywhere that there's unity, they're going to destroy, right? So when there's a religion like Islam, they're going to destroy that. They're going to destroy Christianity, like you said. They've already been attacking it. They're going to destroy anything that unifies us, right? They're even doing it within our own, right? They're going to go after conservatives. They're going to go after the libertarians. They're going to go after the Democrats. Divide. Look, we're seeing it right now. The Democrat Party
Right.
is being cut off, right? Section. They're going to section everything we can. Gender, LGBT, rainbow, right? Within. Everybody's fighting within each other. That's the key. That's their goal. They can't have unity. That's how they're gonna conquer us. Anyway, RosAngel, sorry. Go back to what you were saying. I just wanted to clarify because people are like, I just want to make sure everybody's clear and I'm clear with my communication.
I got you, bro. Appreciate you fucking. I understood where you were coming from, man.
Yeah,
I
but
got you.
some people are thinking like I'm siding with certain people. It's like I'm not. That's not what my message is. My message is
I got you.
pointing out what the division is what they want ultimately.
And you're 100% correct on that.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm just
No,
it's
no,
just
you're
my
correct.
opinion.
It's about division. It is about division. You're correct on that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rosie. Rosa.
Look, folks,
Rosangel.
the word fatigue has been a hot hashtag
Yep.
if it is a thing with AI these days. But I have fatigue of complainers, of victimization mindset, and I have fatigue of everyone telling me that everything that we do and all our monies need to go everywhere but here, and not just when you think about it, like this. I had this epiphany shortly after I left MTV, and I was just walking down the street, and I realized that a lot of people that were stopping me were for causes that had nothing to do in the United States, but they wanted me to do something that was internationally based. And when we started Cafecito Break, it was meant to be one person at a time, always, always to hold space for local efforts and community wellness. So we don't love to discuss, international affairs, although we know it's a part of us and it affects our day to day. But we want to focus on the local plight. New York City, this is the area we know, the area that we live, and we'll never stop advocating for this little city that we love.
Nor should you. And again, you're correct too. We, myself and Scott, have ad nauseum have been telling people local, local, local. You wanna fix things, you got to fix things locally. You want to be able to push back against the feds, you got to fix locally because the framework is all still there, right? We haven't lost that framework. Now, as a citizenry, we've given a lot of our rights fucking up to the government, which we fucking should be fighting to take back. But the framework is still there, and it's just us. It's just up to us to fucking take it back, really. And the fact that people like you and Cozy are still fighting in New York City and just refuse to quit. I actually appreciate that shit very very much, and respect it. I respect the grind, because it's just important. People like me, all my family was down here where I'm at, so I got up and left. I had no reason to stay anymore, and I wanted to come back, but I could have stayed up there fighting. But once I knew in my head that I was leaving, I just fucking kind of tapped out with anything in New York.
Red, you've been so quiet. What are
Yeah,
you
Red Day.
pondering? Tell
I've had
us.
about I've had five different thoughts, but I wasn't able to get a word in, so I forgot which one the last one was. Trying to remember. Oh, you know what? Um, Respectfully, Cozy, I think I disagree with you on your point about Islam. I don't think they're trying to eliminate Islam at all. If that's like some master plan,
Mhm.
I think they're going about it completely wrong. Completely wrong. Because who gives a fuck if they eliminate Muslims over in Iran? If they were really thinking that if the fear is that the Muslims are like the most passionate about the religion, they'd be trying to eliminate Muslims here. Here in the Western world is where the liberal bullshit is being pushed more than anywhere else. And we've already seen that it's come to a head in places like Dearborn and Minnesota, where these Muslim populations are huge. You've actually seen Muslims and Christians coming together saying, we don't want this trans bullshit for our kids. We don't want this agenda. We don't want any of this agenda. And anytime they're trying to be like, we can't have any religious thing anywhere, the Muslims are the first ones saying, whoa, 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 wait a minute. No, no, yes, we can have religion. Um, I think you could take out 1 billion Islamists in the Middle East. It's not going to matter because that's not where they're pushing this. That's not where they're pushing this stuff. This the
But if you
stuff to take over hearts and minds and like to kind of like warp our future. You know, it's happening in the UK, in Canada, in France, in Germany, in Belgium, in Norway. That's why half of these countries they're trying to get rid of these. Over there, maybe they're trying to get rid of them, but only the places like I don't know if like France is trying to help the UK, but France isn't doing anything about their own problem. You know,
Well, it's very strategic, right? Like
so
so
I
like
don't
what
think I'm
I'm
just
saying is,
saying Iran is not the goal. I'm just saying if that's the goal, who cares if they take out Iran? Iran's already, they're not going to populate
well, I
Iran
think
with
about
leftists.
what just happened in Gaza, right? Happened in
Mhm.
Gaza, where like I don't know how many, is it hundreds, thousands? I don't know how many people have died at this point. Uh, and this is just a perspective. I'm not saying that I'm right by any means, right? These are just thoughts that I just spit out because nobody knows the truth and nobody ever will. But this is a thought I'm having, is like, if they can control a population, right? Because the Muslims, I think, are like the most. I don't know if they're the most population on the planet, maybe, right? At this point, is it
Might
the
be
biggest religion? Uh,
possible.
they're multiplying. They have many babies, and what they might see, maybe governments see that as a threat and be like, you know what, let's kind of put a control on it. Anytime a population gets too big, they curtail it. Look what happened in communist China, one child policy. Whatever they do, it's always about population control, because if you could control the population, you can control the people, right? If there's too many people, it's harder to control, right? If you had thousands of employees, how are you going to control them all? You minimize, right? It's just, I think it's about control. And they're going to use the Muslims in certain instances, right? Just like they use us all. Different games that they're going to play in different countries and different positions depending on what they want. Right? I mean, it's complicated, man. There's many layers to this, right? So there's no straight black and white answer here, you know.
No, I'm not going by like anything that I have like a plan because I've read the Q script or something like that. I'm just saying I just look at logic, saying like if this is your goal, then we would expect this, you know, like when someone like several people argue with me yesterday and today about that post I put up when what was it? The people were sharing that meme about how the fentanyl smuggling across the border has dropped by like 60% or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I looked up. I was like, well, I don't like sourcing memes. I don't like say like listen, the meme is my source. I want to find
Mm-hmm.
out where it came from. So I looked it up. I did a simple search to see like, well, who's reporting this? The only person that was reporting this was Reuters,
Mm.
and where they got the quote from, Scheinbaum, the president of Mexico. What the
Mm.
fuck would she know? What the fuck would she know about the reducing fentanyl? They're not stopping the fentanyl on their side of the border. She's in. We know that she's in with the cartels. We know for sure that she wants to get rid of the tariffs, and she wants to make it seem like, oh yeah, everything's down. I've said if it was, and he's like, well, what's your proof that it's not true? I'm like, because if it was true, Trump would be the one crowing about it, right?
Yeah.
If it was something that the State Department or Border Patrol had their hands around, Trump would be the first one to, he put out a tweet at 2 a.m. saying, hey everybody, guess what? Because that's how
Yeah,
he
like
is.
he wants to take the credit. Yeah, he would want to take the
Absolutely.
credit right
He'd have
there,
a
right?
right,
Yeah.
and he'd have a right to if that was his team. That Karen Levitt would have it. Tom Homan would be saying something. Christy Noll would be saying something. They'd all be saying something. They'd all be talking. Fox News would be running it. Newsmax would be running it. I'm like, why wouldn't all these places be talking about it? I don't trust Gloria. I don't whatever her name is. Is it Gloria Scheinbaum? I can't know. I don't trust President Scheinbaum. 1 second. She wants press to be like, look how the problem's going away because that's going to help Mexico. So I said, that's my proof. I mean, Trump, for better or worse, I mean, Trump would, I'm not saying Trump is a saint either. He might, I wouldn't put it past Trump to lie about something if it was positive. But if there was proof that something is definitely good, he'd definitely run with it. He's a master marketer.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't let that just go. He'd be talking about it every day.
I agree.
Um, I mean, it's just I'm just looking at the signs saying if this is the goal, if their goal is to topple the U.S., especially because the U.S. is like so powerful, and it's what supposedly this big holdout, in terms of like top, you know, there's some country that they haven't fully just infiltrated from top to bottom, then I don't think they should be trying to immigrate so many Muslims to the country. right? It wouldn't make sense if they're the most passionate and that's the one and that's their target. They wouldn't be flooding it. If anything, they'd be doing it at the southern border, right? They bring in all the slave class or whatever to come in.
Well, they also
Definitely the plan.
they also want chaos, right? They want us fighting with each
They
other.
do.
So that's
They do.
you know,
They do.
and especially
You,
when it was
you want
the previous
chaos?
administration. The previous administration just allowed the borders completely unchecked, right? So they knew that this would cause a big problem for us.
Well, you just mentioned before about I think I don't know if it was Eric or you, Cozy, who said about the the false flag. Trying to pick out like a boogie, something's going to
Yeah,
happen, something they're
yeah.
That was
blaming
cozy.
Iran or whatever.
That was cozy.
Okay. Well, did you see the bombshell that just dropped like around 7 today?
No, I wasn't paying
Out
attention
of
today.
out of Minnesota.
What
Um,
happened?
the FBI has submitted a legal document now.
Mhm.
So it's actually an official statement that the guy that killed the rep or the senator up there.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Okay.
Kohlberger or something, whatever.
Volt
He's
something or whatever the fuck it
Volt,
is.
something like that.
Okay.
He has now made a sworn statement that the governor Tim Walz is the one that put him up to it. In fact, they wanted him also. Remember, he had that list of names.
Hmm.
He wanted him to take out Klobuchar so he could run for the Senate.
Yeah. That's what he's saying? I didn't see that report.
It literally just before I was supposed to come on. I saw that and I had to go look it up. I was like, "Is this fucking for real?" I was like, because I saw it just like on
Yeah.
like a Chiron or something like that. I was like, "What?" And it's there. It's on several sites right now. That the FBI didn't come from somewhere else. The FBI has submitted his statement.
Yeah, and I
That's what
wonder
he's
if they're
saying.
gonna.
Now, whether it's true or
Yeah,
not, who knows?
yeah, we don't know, and they might say, oh, he's just crazy. He's completely insane, or
The enemy, and I'm just saying, the enemy within. Trump talked about that.
Well, absolutely, man.
And
Worried
going back
about
to your
Iran.
numbers, by the way, Cozy, the last number I saw with Christians, we make up 2.2 billion and still the largest religion
Okay.
in the world.
Still?
Yeah, and
Really?
Muslims, there is a rise in Islam on the other side of the world, but overall, 2.2 billion Christians. That's the last number I ever saw.
Really?
And what's the Muslim religion at right now?
All right, that I would have to look at, but I do know that it is rising. It's
Yeah.
not you
Gotta
I know
be
that
at
it
least
has
a
been
billion.
rising. And I believe that in the Christian community, Catholics still make up the majority of Christians.
I'm
But
gonna check it out right now.
I didn't see that though, Red Day. I didn't see that at all. I know you said it
What was
just dropped
that?
at 7.
Oh, no.
I didn't see that fucking shit with Tim Walz being the culprit now, all of a sudden with the death of that state senator.
That's
But I mean,
from the FBI.
we can't push shit
From the
past
FBI.
anybody, right? Like we can never push shit past anybody, but who knows?
So
All I can say is,
2.5 billion for Muslims globally,
wow,
and you said Christians is what?
I said the last number I saw was like
5.
2.2 billion or something like that at the time.
So it's close.
It's 2.6 billion is Christians. So 2.6
Okay.
billion Christians and 2.5 for Islam.
There you go.
2.05. Sorry, that's a big difference. All right, so 2.6 billion for Christians
Still
and
a lot.
2.05. Yeah, it's close. It's coming up.
So
They're probably
I mean,
gonna.
after that,
Yeah.
it's a big drop, right, for the next
Yeah.
religion.
Well,
Probably,
What's
yeah.
the next religion? I mean, I can't imagine
the
Jewish
Jews?
is third. I
Yeah.
can't imagine they're third, but maybe.
well, let's fucking get off the fucking. Let's get off that. Let's get into some Maha for a little bit, right? Let's
yeah.
start that. All right. So get this. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Starbucks CEO met with freaking RFK Jr. and he says this is just one thing. So RFK is having an impact.
I'm glad you're starting with this.
Yeah, this is just one thing. RFK is just having like a bit of a, he's just having influence on other things that are happening too. So Starbucks will further align its menu. I hate Starbucks anyway. With Maha initiative, RFK Jr. says Starbucks top executive has agreed to further align its menu with the Trump administration's health goals under its Make America Healthy Again initiative, according to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy, who has been examining the nation's food system to address the root causes of childhood chronic disease, said in a post on X that he met with Starbucks CEO Brian Nicole on Tuesday, who shared the company's plan for further Maha its menu. During the discussion, Kennedy said he was pleased to learn that Starbucks food and beverages already avoid artificial dyes, artificial flavors, high fructose, corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, and other additives. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of fucking sugar
Dude,
in the shit that they
dude.
fucking put
Now
out.
will the liberals protest and start drinking the food dyes and poison as a protest?
No,
They might.
dude. You know what? And one thing you can't say about MAGA is that they're not afraid to call people out.
Okay.
They were freaking dragging RFK Jr. on X over that post
Okay.
because the idea that Starbucks puts out anything that would be considered maha,
I
you know,
know.
or like
It's true.
healthy. They were putting up the ingredients of some of these drinks, and it was like 29 artificial
Lord.
ingredients and what sweeteners and things. And of course, everyone was saying, how much fructose is in that freaking latte with the whipped cream? And they're like, it's just like the dumbest thing. That's the most mad I've been at RFK Jr. to even just insinuate that I wouldn't even eat a banana from Starbucks. I wouldn't even trust it if it was like on the counter and said, "Here, we're
No,
selling some fruit."
absolutely. Listen, that's up
Everything
to us.
they sell is processed.
It's never going to be up to government to fix these problems. We got to educate ourselves. It's always going to come from the bottom up. You have to educate your children, educate your your people. Tell them, hey, like I tell people all the time, I'll be like, stop eating that shit. It's poison, right? That's how it happens. You can't wait for RFK or Trump or anybody to freaking fix our health problems. But I do respect, that he's going to be pulling out food dyes, and people are willing to do it, right? So that's a start. But we can't expect them to do that.
I was looking at the comments. Are you talking about Heinz removing food dyes and whatnot? Because that was something that happened this week as well. I was looking at the comments.
Heinz
I'm sorry.
did it.
I'm sorry,
That's okay,
Kozi.
Heinz.
What were you talking about with the dyes? Because I was looking at the comments. I'm sorry, Scott.
No, it's okay. But Heinz definitely did. There was another one too, General Mills maybe, or somebody else.
I saw that.
There's two of them this week. But one of them was freaking hilarious. Was it Heinz, the one that said, "Yes, we're going to have all this removed by 2028"?
Yes, I think I said. I think 2027 or something like that.
Or something like that. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just keep downing that crap until for the next 2 years. But we promise we'll get better.
Yeah, could you imagine, like, you knowingly, like let's say you were totally ignorant and you didn't know, and all of a sudden now you know that this stuff is harmful to people, and you're gonna just keep using it for another 3 years.
Well, you know what I think that move is? I think that move is waiting to see how the midterms go.
Possibly.
Because if the midterms end up being I don't think they will, but it's 50-50. Are they going to be a bloodbath for the Republicans, and will the Democrats take back the House and maybe take the Senate? Who knows? Anything's in the realm of possibility. But if they did, you're going to see some.
I don't think this war is going to help us at all. Like, I think that we're going to lose some Republicans. We're going to lose people that jumped onto MAGA, kind of like they weren't MAGA, but like they jumped on it because they started seeing like RFK come in, Elon Musk and Tulsi Gabbard come on in, and they're like, oh, they're anti-war, they're all this stuff, and now people are like, hey, wait a minute, you're about to strike freaking Iran. So people are not happy about this, right? So we might lose some people.
And they're not going to vote Democrat. They're going to do worse. They're actually just going to stay home.
Probably. And whatever it is, man, like this is not a good move. Like right now, I'm not happy with what's happening, and I'm sure many people are not. There's always a way to have a solution. There's always a way to negotiate with people. It's just that we're not trying hard enough, and that's how I see it. At the end of the day, you can always meet somebody halfway, somewhere.
Yeah, I haven't seen any commitment from the administration that he's going to bomb the shit out of Iran, though. I know the mainstream media is running with that. Anything is possible, of course, right? Like we can't fucking say that it's not possible. But I know 60 days ago, okay, and for the last 60 days and even today, he was still trying to get them to the fucking table to talk. So I don't know,
and I wasn't paying attention. What do you guys know? Why Israel chose to just strike, like, throw missiles at Iran? Like, what made them do it? Was there like something something particular? Did Iran like threaten them with something, or they just out of nowhere just
Iran threatens them all the time.
I
No,
think
but
they're
what
honestly. I
exactly
think
happened?
Iran threatens everybody all the time.
I honestly think they're really just Bibi is simply trying to antagonize Trump.
I think
That's
that
it. That's
I've
the
been looking
only
at that
thing.
too. I
He's
think he's
only
trying.
he,
I think they're
Trying
trying
to
to
get them.
fucking rope
Yeah,
us into it.
that's what
yeah,
I'm
he's trying to
saying.
get us into it. I mean,
And
and the
and that's
only
a fucked up move. That is a very fucked up move.
But again, I pay attention to Trump. I don't pay attention to everybody else, right? Like I'm watching him, right? And again, there hasn't been any commitment, all right, to he said he does the things that he does, right? He says the shit that he says, and then fucking 2 tweets later, it's completely different. Right. So like I'm trying to pay attention to him, to what his actions are going to be. Right. For instance, we talked about it earlier. The mainstream media has been running and he kind of fell into it because that happens to him occasionally. He falls into it. All right. Fucking having him disagree with Tulsi Gabbard. Like she said that fucking Iran was not building a nuclear. That's not what happened. If you go back, okay, and you look at the actual whole context of what she was saying during her hearing, okay, she said a lot of different things that didn't say anything about Iran not having fucking uh, not building a nuclear weapon and stuff like that, and working on anything nuclear. So like I'm paying attention to him because everybody else is saying other things. So I'm gonna watch what he does. If he ends up bombing the shit out of Iran, which would suck, okay, fucking because I don't want us to get roped into that. But again, I'm gonna pay attention to him.
it's like I was just saying with that other story. You always have to consider the source. You know,
Yeah,
you have to look at where's the information coming from. If it's coming from CNN and they're saying sources close to the president say,
yeah.
what the fuck is that? What does that even mean?
It means nothing anymore. You're right,
Some
Scott.
janitor that works in the press room.
Well, he
I
did
mean,
tweet
come on.
out, but he did also tweet out, right? He tweeted something like very
But like
alarming.
Eric said, that's his whole thing though. If you have not been paying attention to Trump for the last 10 years now since he came down the escalator, that is his thing. It's his standard move is the big in anything is they call it the big ask, right?
Yep.
He talks a big game and then he reels it back. He talks a big game and then he reels it back.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
he rarely overreacts and speaks quiet and is very meek about it. It's
Right.
very rare that he's like that. So
All right, yeah,
all these people that are like, oh, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. I'm like, you've been saying that since the first term. Oh my God, he's gonna do. He still hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, this is
Not
back
yet.
in
So I'm gonna go with, yeah, I'm just gonna go with okay until he hasn't done it until he does it.
Yeah. I'm gonna believe it when I see it, type of thing.
Yeah, and if he does it, I will criticize him.
Absolutely, 100%.
Also,
We'll drag
but
him
you know
over the
what,
coals
though?
on this show.
To a man and to a woman. Rose, are you still on here? You dropped off my screen. But to a person though, I don't know. I didn't have the right screen. Like the people were starting to push each other off the screen. To a person though, honestly, if Iran or whoever starts bombing American bases, and I don't really matter where they are, but if we wake up one morning in the next week or two, and if we find out that some U.S. military base got the shit kicked out of them, and there's like 25 soldiers dead, and there's all this, this shit, guarantee you, well, you tell me if I'm wrong. I think everybody on this panel, and I think most of the people watching our podcast, are all going to be the same and be like, go fuck them up.
Well, maybe, right? Depends if it really happened, right? Or
if
was
it's
it a
us,
false flag?
I'm saying once they attack us, all bets are off. I think you're going to see MAGA come out and be like, take them the fuck out.
No,
So
of
no
course
one
of course
wants
they're
to
gonna
get
say
into
that,
war until
but-
they actually attack, till they
But
take American lives.
only if that was 100% factual, right? Like, because a lot of times they'll
True.
do the false flag shit, like 9/11 false flags, right? And
Fair
then,
enough.
and if it's
Fair
a
enough.
false flag because they want that boogeyman and Israel wants that, right? Then all of a
Agreed.
sudden we're, so I don't know. I don't trust government at all. I don't care who's in office. I just don't trust them. When they go to war with countries, I automatically will assume the first thing they're going to do is a false flag.
I agree. That's a very fair statement. When we see the next Iraq, when we see the next reporter in quote Iraq with the palm trees and saying, "Oh my God, we're here in Iraq and there's bombs,"
Yeah, man. This world is fucked up, man. This is a fucked up world we're living
We
in.
all fell for it back
Uh,
then.
Yeah,
but
I'm more worried about. I'm not worried about fucking Iran trying to send a ballistic missile to any of our bases anywhere on the fucking other side of the world. If anything's gonna happen, it'll be some dirty shit that they did. Okay, if they're gonna do that, because again, I have no love for
Mhm.
fucking the Iranian government. A lot of my fucking friends died. Not my friends, but a lot of our fucking men and women died because of the fucking bomb making shit that they sent into Iraq. Right or wrong, whether we should have been there, okay, killed a lot of us. So fuck them. If they get wiped off the fucking earth, it makes no sense to me, right? I don't care. I only care about the Persian people there because they actually want freedom, right? Like most of their people would love,
Yeah.
okay, to rise up and take their government back. But every time they try, usually led by their women, okay, taking off the hijabs and shit, all right, because the men don't fucking get up
Yeah.
and do anything, all right. It's usually the women who fucking get out there and fight, all right. They get squashed by the government and their military. So like I
yeah.
could care
Well,
less. But like
let's hope for peace, though, man. We want peace, and
no,
we want.
I'm
Yeah,
not. By the way,
Absolutely, I do.
I'm
Yeah.
not advocating. I
no, I
hope you
know
don't
you're
think I'm
not.
advocating for fucking
No,
war.
no,
I'm just saying I
I
could
know
give a
you're
rat's
not.
ass about them.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, I'm putting out that energy, just putting out that, and hopefully, people have that in their minds.
Rose,
You
what's
know.
going on with you, ma? I'm waiting. We're waiting for you to just jump in. Like just like say you could jump in at any time you want. I know you like hearing the hint that
No, but okay,
Oh, you-
but in fairness, Cozy knows this is the way we do our when we play together in podcast land.
like yeah.
I hardly talk unless, and then when I do, then I'm talking.
That's right though. We want to hear from you too. The people want to hear from you too.
Oh no, yo estoy
Um,
enjoying everything, and besides, Red no estaba hablando. I wanted
nah,
to
he's
hear
talking.
when he was
I'm
talking
talking.
his insights.
Yeah, we
I
Caramba.
gave
said my,
Fred
I
some,
said
some
my
time to
I
talk.
said my piece. I said my piece. I'm good.
Yeah. Listen, I think I'm gonna add to what something that Red Day was saying, about MAGA, saying, listen, if you fucking if it ends up being you end up hitting one of our bases or some shit somewhere, MAGA's not gonna give a shit. They're gonna want to be like, hey, end it. That's it. We just fucking end it. Turn it into a parking lot so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Don't get us fucking wrapped up, okay, in another 20-year war. Just turn it into a parking lot. That's what MAGA's gonna say. They're not gonna say let's
Absolutely.
fucking go to war for 20 years. They're just gonna say fucking end it. No more bullshit. We're not gonna play around. No more fucking around. And God forbid some dirty bomb goes off somewhere, okay, in the United States, all bets are off. It'll be glass over there. And we don't need, by the way, just coming from the military and having still friends still in the military and whatnot, we don't need anything nuclear to turn a country into glass. Trust me, we got things that will fucking wipe mountains out if we really wanted to. So it just, I don't want to see that. I definitely don't want to see that. I don't want to get wrapped up into any other shit. I already fought. There's nothing fucking beautiful about war. There's nothing glorious about it. Okay, it fucking sucks. All right, especially when you lose people or you see other people getting lost or you're fucking scraping up some poor fucking motor pool guy or gal off the ASR or fucking MSR. All right, because they got hit with an IED. It sucks. All right, and there's nothing. I hope we don't get caught into any of that shit. I don't want any of that. So I don't want anybody to think
Oh,
that I'm
nobody wants it.
glorifying war because I'm not.
No, nobody wants it. Nobody wants this. You know.
Nobody
Rose,
wants it. So yeah, in terms of more of the Maha things,
thank you.
Heinz. I don't know if we mentioned General Mills.
We didn't. We said Heinz, but I think General Mills was doing. We briefly said General Mills, but if you have a little more input, please.
Oh geez, I had it right a few minutes ago, but by the time I find it, but yeah, no, and then I think it was also Walmart. Okay, Walmart Sam's Club to remove synthetic dyes from private brand by the year end.
Oh,
It
okay.
says removing more than 40 ingredients, including artificial colors and aspartame, from its private label brand. So obviously, these things take time. They don't move as fast as the social media minute does, and do neither does politics. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, it does seem like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His presence there is changing things, and anything that I'll take anything positive, and I side also with Cozy It's also up to us to also educate ourselves, just so sort of like what we were echoing in 2020 when we all became researchers, because we knew
Mhm.
something was up and our intuition didn't lie to us. And we also learned very quickly that it didn't matter how many degrees you had, that didn't necessarily equate to your intelligence. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't mean that you have common sense. And that intuition, like people who are connected to their intuition, and a faith, something strong that connects you to God. I think that having a recipe like that helped a lot of people at least survive. Even though I know a lot of people feel like they're barely hanging on these days. I mean, goodness, we know we're having our moments with all the family stuff and people getting sick and everybody having to pivot. Um, these are not easy times, and and all of the division. And I got war fatigue. How about that? I got fatigue about people fighting. I don't want to talk about anybody else's fight that doesn't have to do with resolutions being and happening here in New York City. So that's where I am, and I apologize if anybody finds that to be insulting, but
Not at all.
we made a commitment when we started Cafecito Break, and that was to really plant our flag locally. And maybe we'll cheat and plant it also in Puerto Rico, but we are Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico's part of the United States. So it's kind of like, that's the way we see it.
No, no, trust me. It's perfectly logical to feel that way, and to want to have, like, resolution here first. We trust me, Scott and I. We have our own conversations outside of these shows. We agree with that, right? Like, no matter what's going on in the world, we want the resolutions here, okay, to happen here in the United States first, right? Like, we need to. We can't fix the fucking world, nor should we have to. All right, people should just start fixing their own shit. All right, because there is no other country
Yeah.
like us. Okay, nobody has a government like us set up the way our government is supposed to run. Okay, nobody has the liberties that we do. No matter what they say in all these in the Western world, the rest of the Western world, nobody is built like we are. Okay, and we have an institution that can absolutely fucking change things pop for the good. All right, in a matter of just like a couple of elections. Scott has said it a million times. Okay, hey, we can't just do it fucking here. We got to do it now. Then we got to do it again in 2026. Then in 2028, we got to keep fighting. All
The
right.
fight never
And
ends.
in 3 or 4 elections, we could fucking change things if we want to. But it comes down to us as a people. And like you said, even among this conversation here, we're all on the same side with fucking America being first. Like, we have to take care of America first. But we have differences of opinion on other things. We just still agree that America has to get taken care of first.
Yeah, the number one thing we could all agree on is stop funding these countries, stop funding other countries. Like, keep our money here, stop getting involved in other people's business. That's it.
Yeah.
Seems like such a simple concept, except one
It
political
is.
party does not want to get into that at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't want any part of that.
Yeah. It's fucking mind-boggling, but you know,
You know what, Rose? I just want to tell you something else. I don't know if you knew about this week, Rose Angel. Because I think Maha covers a lot of different things. It's I think we see a lot of the nutrition, the nutritional from these food companies changing, but it's not just that. Um, and there's something else that happened this week that's actually pretty good. I don't know if you're aware, but the EPA set aside about $26 million for funding, uh, basically going to schools, so they can. There's still schools out there that have too much lead in their drinking water,
yeah.
and they're doing things like that. We weren't seeing shit like that going on under the Biden admin,
Yeah.
for sure, and a lot of previous admins, not just Biden. It wasn't just Biden. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been going on for a long time. You know, the people in what do you call it? They're initiating a whole extra cleanup in
East
Palestine,
Palestine.
Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah, East
Hmm.
Palestine. Why did it
Yeah.
take till 2025 to do that? That happened in like 2023, didn't it?
I know,
Or
something like that. Yeah.
2022?
I
Wasn't
think it
even
was
last
20. I
year. It
think you're
was like
right. I think you were right. 2023.
yeah, it was like 2 years ago. And those and it hadn't been done. Buttigieg went there for like a week and said, "Oh, okay, it's all good."
Well, he was
They
busy.
left.
He was busy breastfeeding, bro.
Oh yeah, breastfeeding. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Bendito.
He
I
said that
think as
fucking.
far I was gonna say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say. I think RFK's the cabinet that he's placed underneath him. I think there's some really cool people under there. That are gonna put some curbs. Vaccines. I know probably vaccine maybe the things that they haven't attacked the
Well,
most, but I
his
think that's gonna be the
one
biggest
of his
fight.
head vaccine people, I think, just fucking quit either yesterday or today because she doesn't align with what he wants to do.
Well,
Fine,
good riddance. Good
Yeah,
riddance.
fine.
And that's the thing.
yeah,
So,
So
like, for those of you who
a
don't
lot of
know,
those
like,
people, yeah, a lot of those people though are going to be in lockstep, like Jay Bhattacharya, like they're going to be with him, and they're not going to be anti-vaccine, but they're definitely going to be for a lot more testing and a lot more safety.
yeah,
So
right. Yeah. So a couple
that's
of
all we
weeks ago,
want.
yeah, I don't know if your followers know that, but like, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, he fired like the whole freaking ASIP,
yep,
FDA,
yeah, yeah,
which was amazing. That was
yeah.
an amazing thing that he did. I didn't expect him to do that because I was like thinking like, oh, is he just going to go along with the? No, but he just went out and said, you're all fired. Now he's going to rehire people who are going to
Yeah.
be literally, and he's not hiring anti-vaxxers. He's
He's not.
hiring
He
people.
did.
Well,
Well,
he
he
did.
hired 48 hours after he did. He hired a bunch of people, including
Yeah,
Robert Malone, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know how Robert
but
Malone
the
feels
key
about
is,
stuff.
well, the reason what I'm saying is, right, there's a lot of people who wanted to be a part of it, but he's like, I can't have you because you're too anti-vax, right? So like he's what I'm
Exactly.
saying is he's picking people who can make that can critically think and not are just going to be like, I'm this anti-vaccine. They're going to bring the science. They're going to bring a neutral kind of perspective and be like a real judge on whether it's true or not. And that's what we
yeah.
need. And he's smart about that.
Yeah.
Like, imagine he couldn't just put these crazy anti-vax people. He'd be like, you know what? We're going to have people who have the credentials and who can make these,
Right.
recommendations. And that's the way to do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I think the last time you were on, we talked about it, right? It's not that he himself is not even an anti-vaxxer, right? He wants
Yeah.
transparency. He wants people to have the information, okay, given to them so they can make educated decisions. And if there's something wrong, he wants people to know that there's something wrong with this, right? Like he just wants transparency for everyone so that they can make their own decisions. And again, if they need to take something off the fucking market, take it off the market because they did whatever studies because it sucks, right? So he himself, like, I've never really heard him say anything anti-vax, right?
Yeah.
Because he's
And that,
vaccinated.
yeah,
He
the
will tell
last
you, he's like, I'm vaccinated, and so is my family, right? But like, we just need people to fucking understand what they're putting in
correct.
themselves.
Correct. He was getting vaccinated, and obviously there wasn't as many vaccines when he was growing up, right?
Yeah,
He probably had like 3 to 5, but then he got injured by a flu shot. That's why he has that voice,
yeah,
that spasmic dysphonia.
Hmm.
He said when he was about 40, 45 years old, he got injured by a flu shot, and he didn't know
yeah.
at the time. But just to put that out there, that obviously he's not an anti-vaxxer if he's getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
But the
And
Hey,
media would have you
also
Samantha
believe
Grace,
something
thanks for
completely
joining
different.
us.
something that I
Oh,
wanted
Samantha's on.
something that I wanted to point out briefly, which is another reason why RFK Jr. appealed to me, is that he had such a understanding of the inner workings of Washington and all of these different groups that play with each other. And I think that maybe with Donald Trump in his first term, that he didn't have that as a like an insight, like how all these inner workings, because he was just coming in fresh, right? We didn't even know that he was going to win. But then with RFK Jr., he specifically for so many years has been studying this. And I feel like he's just been waiting for a moment. And like he said, I think he said he was waiting for 18 years to have a moment like the one that he has now presented to him by the current administration. And I'm not surprised that we're seeing something happen. Maybe it's not all the things the people want, but as we know, things in Washington sometimes don't move at all. There are people who will introduce a bill and they have to wait until they get reelected to even have a little momentum on it again. So
Right.
if you think about that and you think about all of the things that RFK Jr. has done already, all the shakeups, all of the people that he's brought on, and all of the Maha grassroots all around the country, that do all of the great activism, like We are an unstoppable force.
Yeah, he's been. I think. Listen, there's plenty of shit that I don't agree with him on politically, but when it comes to the health stuff, I don't think there's the man. Conserve mentioned it. I have talked about it too in the past. He's been fighting this fight forever, right? Big farm, he's been fighting. Big ag, he's been
Mhm.
fighting. Fucking whatever it is that's big, he's been fighting, right? And it's come to fruition now. All that hard work that he's had, you're 100% correct on that. He's finally in a position. If I remember, Obama actually put him up for a position and then fucking pulled his nomination because the people were calling him anti-fucking vax and all this other stuff and everything, that he's a conspiracy theorist back then, right? So he had a shot on Obama, but Obama fucking didn't pull the trigger. Thank God Trump has pulled the trigger with him this time and said nah, and he actually got fucking confirmed, which is a very good thing. Um, and you guys are right. He's doing a lot of good. All right, and we'll see it. It's not going to happen overnight, and I think too many people want things to happen like snap of the fingers. Okay, Scott talks about it all the time. Like, for instance, the fucking some of the
Ad
bills
nauseam.
some of the bills, okay, that have not made it to the president's desk yet, okay, if we could just get a win, right, and have that goalpost in a position where we can actually pull it back in and then kick another one, fucking, and then pull it in a little bit more to get till we get to the point where we're actually dunking, okay, on that goalpost because we start winning. But it's like we can't seem that we want things to happen right away. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. I wish it did. I wish we had single item bills that could get fucking brought to the president's desk, okay, that he can sign. Whatever president is in, but like in particular with Trump, I wish we could fucking have single item things, but that's never gonna happen. The Uniparty will never let that happen.
So we defeat the Uniparty.
Yeah, and the way to
That's all I
defeat them is what
Glass,
we always talk: local,
glass
local,
half full,
local.
baby. Glass
Yeah,
half full, baby.
yeah, we have to. You're right, man.
Yeah.
You're right. We have to
If
fucking beat them.
because and that's what I have. That's what I tell people. It's like because and I have people I have doomers in in my DMs all the time, and they're like, "Oh, it's a waste of time. Blah, blah, blah. It's never going to happen. They're going to give it. Trump's not going to do anything, or the
Yeah,
Congress is not going to do anything." And I'm like, dude, then why are you even on social media? Why are you even talking to me? If you believe in your heart that nothing can be done, I mean, just go sit in a corner somewhere and suck your thumb.
Cry.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
right? I mean, because if you really believe nothing, then just shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because there's nothing to talk about. I don't have anything else to say to you.
Yeah.
You have to have hope.
Yeah, and
Without hope,
sometimes I'll post something and like and I already know it's gonna happen. It's like I'm gonna post something positive and I'm like someone's just like, yeah, but
Yep.
that's not really gonna happen, or but this is what he did last time, or I'm like, who cares? I'm just listen, forget about everything else. I'm just celebrating this victory, right? There's
Right.
a move in the right direction. Let's fucking celebrate it. Obviously,
Yeah.
nobody's perfect.
exactly.
Obviously, people have skeletons in their closet. Obviously, there's always problems with everybody. Or like I posted something the other day, perfect example. I posted something with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We all know that guy is a fucking tyrant. We know that
Yeah. No.
shit that he
He's an
said.
idiot.
During the pandemic, he's like, sissy boy, wear the mask.
Yeah.
Like whatever he was saying. He's like, fuck your
Exactly.
freedom. Fuck your. So I hate this motherfucker.
Yes.
But the other day, he was on The View and he said something I agreed with. Like he said something. You guys saw that clip, right? Where he's
Yeah.
on The View and they're hoping that he's going to say something, towards their direction about immigrants.
Yep.
And he's like, no, I like legal immigrants. And he's like, there's a difference. And like, they were like tapping him on the shoulder to stop. That was perfect.
Yep.
But I knew posting that there's going to be
Yeah.
some fucking asshole, somebody's going to say something.
At
No
least
fail.
one.
And I had to put in the caption, like, I don't agree with his stance during the pandemic. I can't fucking stand him for what he did, but this is fucking great. I can't say that. I can't fucking say that.
Yeah.
No,
Fuck-
you can't. You
Fuck
must
you
agree with
all.
everything.
Fuck everybody.
Comply.
Because you know what?
Every time
If
we
you-
post,
if you
we got
don't-
a little
If you don't
disclaimer.
encourage the positive behavior, then you're never going to
There you go.
push positive messages, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Like
Great
you can't
point.
hate. You can't like that's the
Great
problem
fucking
with
point.
our community, and that's the problem with every fucking human being here. Is like it's like all or nothing. It's like this guy's
You know what?
he's a tyrant. We know he's a fucking tyrant, but he did a good deed. You know what? Let's fucking give him an
You have
applause.
to. It's positive
Yes.
reinforcement. You do that to kids all the time, right? You
Yeah.
do something good,
Yeah.
You say, "Hey," and guess what? They'll start repeating the good behaviors, and maybe they'll
Yep.
stop doing some of the bad behaviors. It's not just about punishment and
We
fuck
need
them
to
if they
do
do
this with the
one
garbage
thing
pail
bad.
kids.
The
Yeah.
garbage pail kids.
We
Those are
need to
awesome.
do
Those
the
garbage pail kids are
positive
awesome.
enforcements with the garbage pail kids.
Those
Absolutely.
are awesome. Where do you guys create
Yeah,
that? Because those are awesome. But
they're
Scott,
funny.
bro, I'm with you,
What?
man. The positive fucking,
Well,
I like
what I
that
was gonna
positive
say was, do you
reinforcement.
remember this? Do you? I don't know if you remember this episode from The Sopranos, but do you guys remember The Sopranos?
Yeah,
I never
Just watched
saw
it. I
it,
don't know if.
but
I
I
do.
do know
Okay.
what it is. Yeah.
There's an episode where Carmela thinks she had a miscarriage and she's depressed. So she goes to an attorney, then she goes to an OBGYN to get, or no, she goes to a clergyman, and he's this like, I don't know where he's from. He's like black, and he's got a very thick African voice, and she's trying to justify her life. She knows that her whole life is funded by organized crime, and she's like, I want to love my husband, but I know he's a bad man. What do I do? You know, and the priest tells her, listen, the world is not black and white. And he said, God understands this. The world is full. He says the world is full of tensions. What you have, the only thing you can do is to live in the good and try to forsake the rest. Right? I I apply that to, I don't know how many things I apply that to in my life. Because you look at any politician, you can find skeletons.
Mhm.
Everybody on this panel has skeletons. I have skeletons. But you know what? I I agree with, and I publicly agree with the
My
stuff that I feel
skeletons are
is
big
positive.
boned.
Whatever, you know, we all have them. We all have our vices. But I mean, we highlight and we push the things that we believe in, the things that we think are good, and we think that whether it's honoring God or being good to our parents, or good to whatever, or good to the country. And yeah, there's going to be things that this senator from wherever state is going to say, oh, he voted no on this bill that was a good thing. Oh well, if he did 7 other good things, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna pump him up for the 7 good things he did. I'm not gonna fucking, and I do that with Trump all the time. I'm like, okay, you said there's one, he did one bad thing. Okay, name me 10 more, because I can name you 35 things a week that he's doing positive.
Right.
I'm not, I could name 35 things that he's fucked up since he became president. But there's a
Yeah.
lot more things that he's doing right.
Yeah.
So we have to
They're
push
politicians.
the
At the end
right
of the day,
thing.
they're politicians. They're not
Yes.
Jesus. They're not perfect. And you gotta applaud when they do right. You gotta do
And,
it.
hopefully
Like
they,
training a
they
dog.
continue to do the good things. If we're loud enough when we're loud enough and positive when they do the good things, maybe they'll do more of those good things. We
But you
can't
know how
just
the
art.
black
We can't
pill,
just yell at them. Can't just yell at
Oh
them when they
yeah.
do something bad and say, "Well,
yeah.
we're cutting you off. We're cutting you
Well,
off. That's it."
the
Because
black
people are
pill,
not like that.
they want to fucking do that all the time, though, Scott. They don't care, right? They don't see like what you're saying.
That's how
Like
the
they
that's how
see
the
they
left
see
is,
one thing.
right?
Yeah, they see one thing that he did that's fucked up. And like you said, we'll call him out on this show. We'll fucking roll him through the fucking coals if we have to, right? But they don't see the 35, 40 things like you were saying that he did correctly. Yeah,
Right.
okay, shit on what he did wrong, but can we just acknowledge the other 40 things that he fucking did right? You know what I'm saying? They can't
Exactly.
think like that. To them, it's all or nothing, man. You either do it all this. Actually, it's you do it my way, okay, the way I want it to be done, or nothing at all. That's how they fucking think, which is why you guys like us,
And
we don't pay attention to that shit.
that's why the left has lost so many people, because
Right.
the minute somebody finds one thing that is, oh, well, they don't, I really like the Democrats, but I'm not on board with the trans thing. They fucking kick you to the curb, man. They'll fucking come
Yeah.
after you. Like you
Yep.
freaking
And
stepped on
dox
their
you.
dog.
Yeah.
They don't even care that you don't even live near them. They'll dox you. They'll try to get you fired. They
Sick
like lose their
fuckers.
freaking minds.
They do. It's
And the
it's
right,
nuts, man.
whatever you want to call it, MAGA / Maha /
Where
independent, whatever. It's
if
a
wherever you
cross
fall on the
section of people.
spectrum,
Yeah, it's a
right? If it's
spectrum of
black
people.
pilling,
We don't agree on a lot of things, but there's some core things that we're pretty close on.
Yeah. RosAngel, why don't you tell the people about Wokey Pokey Land? And because you didn't mention it earlier, and I would like you to share that about what's your vision for Wokey Pokey Land. It's not just a song, right? It's Tell them about your musical.
Thank you, Cozy. I appreciate that. I don't know what Wokey Pokey Land. It I've had this as a placeholder for a long time. In my mind, I would like to produce a musical parody where I can where it's mixed media musical parody and it's about New York City 2020 lockdown, and sort of like coping, the stories being of coping during that time, but set through music, independent music, having some of the touches of the New York freedom fighters and the influences like that song that you heard earlier from Cozy, I'm a Vaccinated. That's a classic. I believe that the New York freedom fighter plight, even though we have been so effective, many of the people that we know that are part of different groups, you people don't know our faces and or our names. It doesn't matter, but the results have been felt across the country. Our friends stood up to the mandates in many different facets, not just in Albany, not just protesting in the streets, but also having active sit-ins, and whatever that was that we did. But it was a multi-dimensional approach. And yes, in all of those settings, there's black pills in all of the groups. And, I don't care, like everybody can be, you want to be a Debbie Downer as long as it doesn't intervene what I'm trying to create and share. But pretty much, as you know, the city workers have not met they haven't gotten their jobs back, despite the fact that NYPD can hire, and Jessica Tish was told by Eric Adams, hey, you could hire NYPD, but you can't hire the unvaccinated. Same with teachers, but a group that doesn't get talked about are the gig employees, the people who were also on the front lines, such as restaurant workers, such as people who worked in hospitality, such people in freelance, like in media, like in entertainment. So for me, I would like to raise money to produce this musical and also sharing through creativity. And Wokey Pokeyland is the first song that would open up that musical. And it's supposed to be like an interactive part. What was that? It part of it is like in the moment, like playing with the crowd. So yeah, and why all of that is intentional, because you have a lot of people who are afraid to be engaging with other people. So I just really hope to create a container that feels safe, where people can express themselves and enjoy a story that will make them laugh maybe, but also shed some tears, and also maybe inspire them to tell their story.
That's important. Music has always kind of brought people together. Um, I mean, even some of the idiots now, like, you look at a band like Rage Against the Machine was one of my favorite bands from the 1990s, right? And then fucking during COVID, they were all sucking the government's dick, right? And just like, wait a minute, you guys used to rage against that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Raging
then you
for
hear,
the machine.
yeah, they were raging for the machine. And it was like, you guys used to like fucking talk about that. You had solid music that had like a solid message. Now all of a sudden you're, calling people all kinds of shit on your shows and everything if they don't want to get vaccinated. But I think music will definitely help bring people
Yeah,
together.
and
And
I
your
think
vision is a
that
good one.
and what the left has done really well for years, right, is they've tapped into, they have Hollywood, they have the music industry, and that's what builds culture, right? What the right wing doesn't have and hasn't had, right, is that culture through the music. And it was never cool to be, it, pretty much conservatives were never cool, right? Now this is about us opening up this channel, and you're starting to see music, right? You're starting to see more conservative music, and it was happening during the pandemic. You started seeing them hitting #1 in the charts. Like for the first time, people like Bryson Gray were hitting the charts and hitting #1s, and they're like, holy shit, Jimmy Levy coming out #1, right? So very inspiring. DVS 7.0, which you guys should definitely have on the show. I think you guys would love this guy. Um, just bringing that music out there. So I think creating this culture and this musical would be freaking amazing. I can't wait to actually see this. I know it's going to happen. and I hope people will support this because it would be an amazing thing to see. And Yeah, like it without culture, right? Without music, you know, we can't really have uh, that full awakening, right? And that full, that movement that we're building will never be at 100% if we don't have the music and the art behind it. So we need to get better at that. And if you're out there, if you're a creative person, an artist out there, make your art. Make your music. Don't be scared to voice your opinion. We need you. We need everybody's voice out there, and you need it. Music does something to you, right? Music is like a trance. So like the same way they brainwash us, we can do it back in a positive way with truth and light. And we need more of you out there. So get out there. I want to hear your music, even if it's shitty music. Come out and freaking make it.
No,
Get better.
I agree. I think our music, even before COVID, I would say, like there's always been like Christian music and stuff like that, but like a lot of the good stuff that had a message that was on our side had been suppressed for a very long time. And I think COVID, like you said, just opened up the fucking floodgates with everything that was going on in the country, with a lot of people being able to get out there with not only their Christian music, but just the message in general, right? Like an anti-government message, an anti-fucking do not comply message that was going across, whether it was freaking rap, no matter country, whatever it was. It's just it's good to see, because we need it. We need an awakening, and we need an awakening on a positive note, like you were saying, right? Because people were fucking caught up with the old message. We definitely need a newer message that's more positive, and telling people don't comply.
Yeah. And we gotta
Don't comply.
make it cool. Make it cool
Yeah,
again.
it's true. But we hope that Wookie Pokey Land and the rest of your project on it just turns out to be fantastic. I can't wait to see that full parody when it's completely done. I hope it's
Listen,
like
it will get done because I'm the type of woman that yeah, I in my great big vision I would love to raise millions for this project. I have produced shows for MTV in that category. I've written productions, $1 million productions for MTV networks, and why can't I raise that money for myself? That's the
You
thing. I
will.
think that a lot of
yeah,
people are feeling like I've helped other entities rise, right? And shine
Wow.
through my work. Why can't I do that for myself and for my people, and also for the arts and for all of those who have been silenced? That's what really Wokey Pokey Land is. Let's break free from Wokey Pokey Land, knowing that we live in it, but we can also use whatever it's aching us, and that anger, that rage, and like you say, rage against you, turn that rage into creativity, and win in that way.
I think that's a fantastic message. Honestly, it is. Oh, again, I can't wait to see it. I want to see it done. And fam, go out, pick up Wokey Pokey Land. It's on like every freaking platform now. It's fantastic. Even though YouTube was fucking with us when we were trying to play it earlier.
Oh, really?
Just yeah,
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 just
they
go
kept
on iTunes, $1.29, and you will be
yeah.
helping support, this mission. And you also have a fundraiser,
Mhm.
right? GoFundMe or whatever you have out there. Yeah, just go support that.
Yeah, oh, it's really easy. If you just visit wokeypokeyland.com, it just redirects and everything is there, including the GoFundMe.
Jonathan,
Awesome.
can you go to Wokey Pokey? Was it wokeypokey.com? And can you
Wo-
drop it in both?
wokeypokeyland.com.
Sorry.
Sorry, I know.
Wokey
I
Pokey.
need to make sure that I might control the
Yeah,
community
listen,
members
well,
into remembering it.
Yes,
you guys
yes.
can
Wokey
just go ahead.
Wokeypokeyland.com.
Ay, ay, ay.
wokeypokeyland.com. If you could do us a favor and drop them in both chats, the links, that way people can
Thank
hit
you,
it and stuff like
everyone.
that.
Really
No
appreciate it.
problem.
It's been a lot of
Um,
fun, as the only one missing has been Alex, but she's been
yeah,
missed, and she sends her regards to all of you.
yeah, we gotta, what do you call it? We gotta bring you all back. Honestly, we need to have all three of you together and stuff like that on another show. It'd be great.
And I
Um,
see your comment over there with Arnold. They're like, "Screw your freedom." Yeah, man, I totally agree.
He
Fuck
said
Arnold
that.
yeah,
Schwarzenegger. Fuck
yeah,
him.
it did say your
Screw
freedom.
your
Him and a lot of
freedom.
other people. Yeah, him and a lot of other people, right?
Yeah.
Especially some people, that are all of a sudden now they're. Thanks, Jonathan, for dropping it in there. Appreciate it. My moderator dropped it in the chats for you so that people could
Thank
hit it
you.
and stuff like that. Let's help her out. Let's try to build this bridge for her so that she can make it happen and finish her project, and then we'll blast it all over the airwaves too.
Let's go. Let's make it. Let's put it out there and just let the world see it. See the. Let it be a mirror to the ugliness of what they tried to do to us and what they did to us, and they'll never get away with it again. We've
Yeah.
awakened many people. We're not going to let this happen again, and we need to solidify that for the future. So that's why music is great. Theater, any art can stay the test of time, and just it could stay out there as a time capsule to tell people, you know, fuck off. You're not doing this
Right.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, go ahead and do your
Amen.
plugs, fam. I'm gonna take us out from here on the down on the panel so that we can just and whatnot. So what do you got? What do you got, Cozy?
What do I got? Just I don't know. Just there's a lot going on. I just want to say keep your eyes open, keep paying attention, keep influencing people, and just keep exposing evil. Keep exposing evil, and that's how we win. It's a long game. Keep talking to the youth, right? That's the revolution right there. Forget about people our age, right? We're gonna die off. You got to talk to your kids. Take your time. Don't just say, "Oh, he's a kid. Just leave him. Let him play with his fucking video game." Speak to your kid. Take
Yeah.
time out of your day. How was your day? Talk to them, and then start sharing what you know. Because if you lose that conversation isn't had, then they're going to lose to these communists. So prepare them for the world. Prepare them to fight back because they're going to have to fight this battle. And they're going to have to do it even harder than you did. So they're up against a fucked up system, New World Order system that's going to monitor everything they say, everything they do, every action they do. Right? We're experiencing it now. So this is going to get into their brain potentially, like literally inside their fucking bodies, inside their cells, and they have to be prepared to fight that with every cell in their body.
Yeah. RosAngel.
Great message, Cozy. Well, thank you again for everyone for this opportunity to share and even to plug our newest project, Wokey Pokey Land. Besides that, we post on Instagram Cafecito Break 10.0. Everywhere else on social media is Cafecito Break. And in case we go MIA on Instagram, look for the next Cafecito Break. Every single time we go to certain events, Instagram starts messing with our account shortly afterwards. So there's beyond the
Fuckers.
pattern of whatever AI does or the algorithm, there's always funny shenanigans that happens just precisely right after or during the opportunity of going live stream with powerful patriots. Little things just don't work. And you guys know what I'm talking about. And you know, my message to everyone is, for me, the Maha message is really doing it, bringing it at home first. What are you doing right in your home besides even going outside your home? A lot of people aren't even talking to the people they live with or
Yeah.
family members or
It's
friends.
terrible.
Like, and I'm not, no judgment. I'm in the same category too. In fact, I keep finding out about new friends who feel like they can't speak to me anymore, and we never had a fight or anything like that. It's just there's a very big discomfort of the things that we talk about, simply just advocating for our rights and whatever it is. I don't want to sound like a victim, but that it is a hard walk. It's a lonely walk. It has been feeling very lonely for us in New York City, but we're grateful that we've built a beautiful family with folks such as you guys, because that helps us feel very nourished. We've been doing happy hour Wednesdays. If any of you are ever in Brooklyn, it's a small little restaurant, so we always say make reservations. But to be quite honest, they've been so fulfilling, so nourishing that we're not even ordering dessert, any of us. We're just so happy with each other's company. And to me, that was a tell, because I always order dessert even first. So, just gather with loved ones, whether it's a friend or family. Put something on the calendar. It really, really, it's going to be fortifying to your soul.
Scott.
I don't really know. I don't know if I have any great message to tell everybody. Just, except just don't be a doomer, It's like the thing I have to go back to.
So true.
Just, I mean, it's not about just, there's so much information coming at everybody from all these different directions. You have to just be able to filter the noise out. You
Right.
have to, because there's like 90% of the information being swirled around out there, whether it's coming from legacy media, social media, just random talking heads. Most of it is shit. Most of it is just shit driven. It's agenda driven. 1 week, it makes you wonder if you actually pay attention to certain people or certain channels, you'll see that they will blow with the wind, whatever the wind is blowing. 1 week they'll be pro this, and the next, a few weeks later they're anti this. And a lot of the posts I put up are just calling people out for their bullshit. A lot of them is just comparing them. Hey, look, they're arguing with themselves. Look at this from June, and now it's September, and look, they've got a completely different opinion on the topic. And especially as we run up to the midterms, it's going to get crazy again. There's going to be so much stuff being thrown at us. Just filter. Just learn what to filter out. Learn what learn to look for. You don't have to have the proof to know like whether the message is accurate or not, or legit or not. You should be learning and getting stronger at discerning the information. You can't just be, for people that have been, supposedly like awake now for several years, they shouldn't have to be force-fed stuff. They should be able to discern it and figure it out for themselves. We just have to keep getting stronger, all of us.
100%, man. Not much to add to that, man. To all three of you guys. The message is what it is, right? Fucking stay alert. When you're alert and you're taking in information, fucking discern what it is that you have to take in, okay? And fucking stand up for yourself. You have to. And don't stay quiet anymore. Don't comply. Don't comply. Don't comply.
Never.
So, let me just thank everybody really quick. Want to thank Rogue Nina, Conserve Reality, Jay Mitchell, Samantha Grace. I think it was Tralala. I saw Rosie Riveter in there, but she came over, I think, to the Rumble side as Kernuts, which is great. Guys, you guys have been fantastic tonight. Great panel tonight. Rumble, you guys showed up again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, fam. We need you all. So, I am the Big Red One Guy signing out. And remember that together, and only together, can we break the machine. I'm going to take us out with another song by Kozi, and we'll end the night with his song. All right? It's called Revolutionary Spirit, fam. Scott, I got to ask you about Monday, bro.
Okay.
Of course it's going to fuck with me.
Flow like I'm immortal, in and out of portal. Ignite the light to fight new world order. They wanna dumb you down, don't drink the water. Castrate your son, sterilizing your daughter. Flooding illegals right in through the border. Collecting the data like I was a hoarder. Slap and slaughter, fake news reporter. Kozi-19, removing your blind. See through the left-right paradigm. Like a psychedelic dose, I'ma open up your mind. Come through with the true plant seeds in the youth. Telepath, teleporting through a microphone too. Feel it in the lyrics, spit from the spirit. Vomit a comment to clear it, rewind it and hear it. My path, I steer it. Revolutionary spirit. One time for your mind like this, and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. One time for your mind like this, and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. Beat the drum with wisdom like colorful prism. Preach and teach till you reach no division. Envision the vision, humanity risen. I'm breaking the bar, they escaping the prison. Abandon the system, creating our own. Tracking and tracing your cellular phone. Mind control thinking, behaving like clone. Guns in the air, we shooting the drone. One time for your mind like this and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. One time for your mind like this and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. Sharpen my vocal to open bifocal. We worldwide to local, sound clear like an opal. I'm royal like a noble, my crown is a noble. I'm Greek like the city of Constantinople. I'm free like a man with nothing to lose. Free like a woman who fled the abuse. Living on earth in body material, blended with stars, cosmic ethereal. One time for your mind like this and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. One time for your mind like this and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. One time for your mind like this and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. One time for your mind like this and one time for your mind like that. Wake 'em up, make 'em bounce to that. Bring the truth where the battle at. Push back. Resist. Push back.